Hey beautiful people, my name is Kristin. Thank you for taking time stopping by my channel for my coffee chats, although I have tea today in my hobbity hole mug. I love these smaller mugs to make my tea. It just seems like the perfect brew amount. And these are my very informal chats where I just share kind of random things that aren't really long enough to deserve their own video necessarily, but I maybe want to share or just talk about life. And I don't know that there's a whole lot that I'm super private about. I've kind of always been that way. Kind of, even people have told me sometimes that I'm a little blunt or crass or just kind of in your face. And I think a lot of them meant it as a negative, but I kind of embrace it as not necessarily a strength, but an opportunity, if you will. I just feel like if I'm kind of gutsy or vulnerable, then that allows my students and my friends and my family to know that I'm a safe place to do that back with. I don't know. Maybe it's not true, but that's what I like to think. So I am very thankful today because this is the third day after my second vaccine and it all went really, really well. I did take some brief footage to kind of show off what our process was like here. So I will go ahead and insert that so you can see what it looked like. Good morning. You can't flip it while it's going. So, I'm all vaccinated. And because I took the next couple days off, but then I'm not going to feel bad for a little bit. I'm going to go help my hubby work because he's a contractor, and I'm going to hold ladders and fetch supplies and do some stuff. And my mask is falling, but I don't care because there's nobody around. And I'm outside. Woo. So thank you for journeying with me. This was very efficient, and I hope and pray that everybody who wants to do this gets it done and gets it done as easily and without a headache or any side effects if possible, and gets through them. So, peace. So I explained in the last coffee chat the whole process of kind of what you're seeing, but you know, all these chairs are spaced out. You come in and you get called up by the time you get checked in, then you go to another waiting area to wait for an available nurse. You get ushered through that for your vaccine, then there's another wait area to wait the 15 minutes to see if you have any kind of reaction. Then another nurse evaluates you quickly, puts you in a checkout line. You check out and you're on your way. If you need help, transportation, golf carts, any of that, lots of people standing by to help, lots of volunteers, almost too many volunteers. I thought about volunteering, but when I look at the sign-up sheet, there was only like one slot here or there, and I thought, that looks like good coverage to me, but I'm not unwilling to help. So I was just really, really thankful not only to have such a smooth, positive process. There wasn't anybody playing music the day that I went for the second one. Maybe they think we're over it. Just push us on through, but sometimes there was even people playing music. So I did, after about 6 hours after I'd had it, my arm started aching and I got a headache, which could have been, you know, the pollen or hormones or who knows what, because it is the time of month for me to be hormonal and get migraines because of the hormones. So I was anticipating that I was going to have a headache, and it might have been completely psychological because I was like, oh, all the factors are against me, so to speak. So I said, you know what? I was going to help my husband do some work. Oh, and it was a really pretty drive. I even pulled out my phone and tried to set it up on the dash real quick and take just a few seconds of footage because it wasn't very trafficy and it's a nice open road, which I'll go ahead and show that off so you can see the beautiful spring countryside. So let me insert that here. Pretty Virginia. I just think this drive is so pretty, especially when it's kind of a sunny day, sun's peeking through the clouds. Just gorgeous. You'll see the redbuds, just so pretty. Just adding a little purple, all the dandelions, and I don't know what the other yellow flower is called, the taller ones, but they're just so pretty. And it's gorgeous going over the mountain this time of year. It's a little scary when it's snowing, although this still is a fairly well-maintained road. Fall is beautiful. These trees have gorgeous colors in the fall. Beginning of summer and spring, many shades of green. And then in August it starts to turn brown. That's maybe the least pretty time, but even that. This is a lovely drive. There's actually about another mile from here starts an official scenic drive. So it's not just me that thinks this drive is rather lovely. Here they're trying to take out some kudzu. So they've killed all the kudzu vines. Hopefully that works. It's hard to kill. But look at this, y'all. Isn't that a pretty valley shot? Oh my gosh. Coming down over the mountain and into that valley. It's just so pretty. So peaceful. Good drive. So this is the official scenic drive here. So I got to my husband's work site, helped him only really about an hour, went and got some lunch and supplies for him to continue on. And then I started, as I said, by that point, it had been about 6 hours since I had had it. So my arms started to get a little achy, and then I started getting a headache for whatever reason. And I said, you know what? I've got the rest of the day off. And I actually kind of, didn't schedule anything for the next 2 days because I had heard that even if you did get sick, the norm was to be done after 2 days. So I said, you know what, we're just going to plan for the worst, hope for the best, right? So I went home, took some Tylenol, took a 2-hour nap, woke up, felt good, besides my arm was really hurting and I just couldn't touch it or lay on that side. I normally sleep on my stomach left side, and I couldn't do that. Had to switch to the right, which felt weird, y'all. It's just weird when you have to sleep a different way, right? So today, again, I feel completely normal. I can even touch my arm lightly, and there's nothing that feels like I bruised it. If I push on it, it hurts. But I mean, even the arm on the second day is almost better. So I have been kind of going around with scrubbies and cleaning, like scrubbing the cabinet doors and window ledges and along the little nooks and crannies where I don't normally clean. I mostly, you surface clean and then you deeper clean. So I've been kind of deeper cleaning today. I cleaned my fish tank. It still hasn't settled. It's all stirred up. So I'd show you and you'd be like, that's clean. Yes, in about another 2 hours, once the filter cycles through all the stuff I stirred up, it'll look way better than when I started. And I rearranged the rocks because my fish are pretty big, and the rocks, because they keep moving the water, they'll settle. And so the spaces that I've kind of made for them to hide, because most of them are nocturnal, they like to hide, get more compressed, and I have to kind of fluff up their spaces, if you will. I don't know a lot about fish. I just try to keep them happy and let them live out their little fishy lives that they have left. This is the 8th year for most of them. And some of them have a life expectancy of 12 to even 15 years. So they'll be around a little bit longer as long as I'm good. So the last exciting thing I want to share before I sign off today is I've got my cute little, when did I get this? Oh, it's showing my bra strap a little bit there, but that's all right. Yeah, is from Transcend. This was on like clearance for like less than 20 bucks, and then I had like 20% off on that. So I just think it's so cute. And I thought about, it's a beach shirt, but when I go to the beach, I have so many outfits that I want to wear. I don't know that I'm going to wear this at the beach, and I think it's cute to say beach bum anytime. So this is my shirt today on my loungy day, kind of cleaning day. I think I even got it, you can't see. I got water and fish skunk on it. So it's a good shirt for that, right? Because you don't have to worry about it. You can just pop it in the washer dryer. Now, back to the last thing I wanted to share. I know I'm random, y'all. But just allow me to keep you company as you're cleaning or doing your day or whatever, because I'm your girlfriend. So I'm going to get ready to film my reviews of the month, because I'm pretty much done with the books that I'll have finished this month, even though there is almost a week left, because I couldn't wait anymore, y'all. I started the Brandon Sanderson's Sunlight, isn't it Sunlight or Stormlight? Stormlight series. And each book is over 1,200 pages, and there's 3 of them. I'm not going to read all 3 in a row, but I am going to read this first one, and they're just so good and so intense. I can't even read another book when I'm reading this. Like, this occupies everything. And I'm about an hour. I read for 1 hour. And look, even the pages have like drawings and maps to help you really absorb the world. And what I realized starting this book is that I struggle reading books that have a lot of war and violence, but there's a lot of war and violence in life, right? And when that's part of the story, I tolerate it or not enjoy it. That's too strong a word, but appreciate, that would be a good word. And Brandon Sanderson does such a beautiful, beautiful job of world building and character building that I am just absolutely invested in everything, and just appreciate his detail. And he's not overly gruesome. He may say that, there's body parts laying there, but he doesn't go into the gore and the ooziness or the whatever. At least I don't feel like it's that way. Maybe it is for some, but that's not the way. I just adore this. And so I'm going to read another hour, maybe even 2 hours today, since today is kind of a freebie day in a lot of ways. And it's Saturday, right? And I've got a fairly big event tomorrow planned. So, but this is great. So if you even are not a sci-fi kind of person, this is a great author to start with. And that's what I'm going to say about that. So I will check off today and probably do another day or 2 of vlogs and put that together and share that out with y'all. Y'all let me know if you're like starting any new series or reading anything or a show, because every once in a while I like to watch. Now, I'm still watching the same shows I've been watching because I only watch them so infrequently. It'll take me probably another few months to finish Rain and the 100. So don't bother me. leave me what's really working though, because I always am looking for that, because if you don't do a whole lot, you want what you do to be really good. So y'all take care. And it's time to do the last little episode, if you will, in my coffee tea time. My tea's almost ready. It's been sitting only about 2 minutes so far. I'm using the antioxidant Your Tea, which I believe, I knew I wouldn't remember the tasting notes, but I believe it's raspberry. It's some kind of fruit. So I thought that was a nice afternoon kind of pick me up. The dog is anxious to go walk because I have not felt good, y'all. I was out with a migraine. Let me taste. I was out with a migraine all day yesterday, and then I still had a headache today, and I just now kind of got rid of it, put on just a little bit of makeup to kind of, get back. I actually put on my workout clothes to go to the gym this morning because I was signed up, but I canceled it because I didn't even get to the grocery store yesterday. So I canceled the gym class after I got moving and realized I still didn't really feel the greatest, and went to the grocery store instead. And then I came home and ate a little and rested, and now I'm feeling better. So I'm wondering if it's beer, y'all, because my husband made this delicious stew, and one of the main ingredients was beer, and he used the IPA. And the last time I drank an IPA, kind of real hoppy beer, was the last time I had a migraine. So I'm thinking there might be something in that. I've got to do a little research, but that might be a trigger that I didn't know that I had. Because sometimes if I'm dehydrated and drink wine can sometimes trigger, or alcohol maybe in general does if I'm dehydrated. So maybe it's just the alcohol, but it may be specifically that type of beer that is triggering me, because that's twice now that I had that the night before a migraine. So I did want to ask y'all and share something that I just came across, which is a new makeup line called Beautycounter, and Beautycounter.com is the website. I think it's like Mary Kay. I think it's like a for women by women, you buy it online, not in stores kind of product. And it's one of those that's completely all natural and organics. And what they were explaining when I went to this online kind of party information thing is that retinol's actually not that good for us. There's a lot of studies showing that that's not healthy, and we're putting it, on our faces. And I use retinol products all the time because it works. It really works. And so they gave me a whole sample kit to try out of their beauty regimen. And it was interesting because the cleanser was oil. It wasn't like a lotiony, lathery kind of cleanser that I'm used to. It was like oil, and you put the oil on, and then you add the water and lather it up. And it doesn't really lather necessarily, but I just felt like it really worked, like it really cleaned, and was very gentle, if you will. And then they have like a moisturizer that's also more like a serum, but it's the moisturizer is the serum. And then there's a serum that's acts like any other serum as far as I can tell. And then there's kind of the overnight heavy moisturizer, particularly for the problem areas. And I went ahead and got that, but y'all, this is like $89 for this tub. But this is where the retinol comes in. So it doesn't have retinol. It has natural plants. It's like one of those tetrapeptide natural things. So that's the active ingredients that makes it expensive. And it's like a really heavy cold cream. And you just barely have to touch it. Like, I've been using it, but you just like barely have to touch it to get and it kind of goes on like cold cream, right? It's like, but you're going to bed when you use this, so it doesn't matter if it shows up just a little bit. But and it's just like, it feels great and glorious, and it doesn't have any smell at all. And cold cream has a kind of a funky smell, but this doesn't at all. So supposedly this will last at least 6 months. Might last me a little bit more if I pair it with some of my other night moisturizers and just use this in the trouble areas or whatnot. But anyway, I had never heard that before. I do want to get the whole regimen, though. I kind of liked it. It was weird. It's weird switching up things, going to oils when you're used to creams and lotions. But I really liked that it didn't have really much of a scent at all, but it just made my skin feel very taken care of. Like, it felt like it had really been washed and treated without any, like, there was no tingling, there was no, like, I don't know. I just liked it. But I mean, the whole regimen's like, I think around $300. This is the most expensive part, though. So I started with that. And then that was kind of my budget because I didn't want to spend more than $100. But y'all, this body wash It's a, I don't know if it'll come up, but it's citrus mimosa. Do you see that? And this, I use bar soap mostly in the tub, but I like body gel when I'm doing what I call my quick bath. Like when I'm not going to wash my hair or shave my legs, when I just want to get in and soap up and get out quickly, that's when I use the gel. And usually I just use soft soap. I really like some of the soft soap body washes. So those are like $2 a bottle, right? This was $27 for this bottle, but I think it will actually last me a long time, because to be honest, even at the $2 bottles, I probably only buy maybe 2 a year max. So because I use bar soap most of the time that I'm showering, because I use Sudsy or some of the African soaps or whatever that I've gotten from my fair trade boxes. So I'm using those. But this smell, y'all, is the best body wash smell I've ever smelled in my entire life. Now, you have to like citrus, but when I was a little girl, my grandparents lived in Kentucky and we lived in Texas, and our family vacation every year was to drive to see them. We didn't have a whole lot of money, I don't think, but that's what we did. We went to go see, because my dad's family was all in Texas, so we'd go to Kentucky to see my mom's family, and we would stop at different places along the way. But when we got there, it was, it wasn't necessarily a farm. They grew things outside, and my grandfather had like a law office at the time that I'm remembering this. And anyway, along the streets, there were a ton of Granny Smith green apple trees and a ton of those mimosas, you know, the trees with the kind of flowy, straight leaves, and then those pink fuzzy flowers. And the smell of that sweet, crisp apples with the mimosas is what this reminds me of. This like takes me back to childhood vacations. And it's just, if you like that, a clean, citrusy, just a hint of floral. Oh, y'all, I'm probably hooked on this too. But I'm hoping that I don't need more than a couple of these a year. So we'll see. But I just wanted to put that out there, see if anybody else was using Beautycounter, if you knew anything about it, if there were other products, because they're very expensive, right? So I'm going to be adding them to my regimen very slowly. And I love Ipsy. Ipsy like keeps me stocked up with some really high-end stuff. But honestly, when I go and I look at it, like I find something I love, it's usually about in the $80 range, and I go, oh no, I'll just buy it from Ipsy, because Ipsy also will have, I think my tea's ready now, Ipsy has those deals where you can get like full size for like half price, right? So instead of like paying, you know, $80, it'll be like $40. So that's what I normally do, is watch those. But anyway, I'm thinking this might be worthy, but I had never heard of it, so I wanted some feedback from my YouTube family and friends if y'all had done it. And if not, check it out. There, I'll leave the whole link, but I'll leave my particular beauty consultant's email or contact, because I'm sure I'm just going to put it out there that she would send you the sample that she sent me that you could try. And because, you know, then you could do her the courtesy of, if you decide to get it, buy it off of her, you know, link. So she gets the credit for the sale or whatever. But her name's Stephanie, and she was really, really helpful. I just called her and said, look, I don't know a lot about this. Can you answer all these questions? So it was very, very good. And that's just what I want to put out there. I just think it's fun when we find these kind of new things that are just really worthy, you know, and it has to be worthy to be at that price, right? But I'm going to go finish my tea. I'll wrap this up. I'll try to edit all this and get it ready to put out pretty quickly. And I got some book reviews I need to get filmed too, but I just wasn't feeling good enough, y'all. So now I can do it. Peace, y'all. Take care. I will see you again soon.